about 7 years ago, and it did rain at about 2 a.m. And it's been literally about 7 years ago. I have not heard the last of it. People are still telling me about that. I'm like, really? Ah! Anyway, go ahead.
Oh no, speaking of like the weirdest, craziest stories, and it wasn't Cub Scouts, it wasn't Girl Scouts. It was my Girl Scouts, and we actually had to evacuate, and we were at Shinkatink, and it poured so much that like it was funny because when we went to bed, I was like, okay, I don't know why, I just get a weird feeling, and I had a hard time sleeping that night. And it was pouring so much that the rain fly was coming off. And I remember going and I had to keep putting the rain fly over it. Then I went back to sleep, and then it rained again. And I literally just pulled out my mat from underneath me and put it over because it was raining on both of my boys. And it legitimately concerned me. Then I don't have popcorn in here. Hi, Kai. Sorry, that's my son. Then I opened up my tent, and I was like, I don't remember there being cement over there, like underneath the picnic benches. And then went, oh my gosh, there wasn't. And I hear the girls talking in the, hey, Kriste. I hear the girls talking in the tent next door. And we immediately go, oh, we have to get out, like, because if it had risen so much, because it went like this. The link is in the chat, Kriste. So yeah, you can join right now. So the okay, cool. So yeah, no, I take it out, and we literally just put, and so if you ever get into the situation, all you do is put everything into the middle of your sleeping bag, and then you take your sleeping pad and you roll it up, and I literally just went like this, woke both my boys up and went, run. And we ran straight for the, and Tim, my big van, so we ran straight for my 15-passenger van and threw everything in. By the time we had gotten out, and it just kept pouring, so we had to drive all the way around. And we just waited out. We basically slept in the car, and the girls had fun because they literally were talking until 3 a.m. and they just had a blast. At that point, I'm like, I have to drive you home, so we need to sleep. But when I got home, like, I go, was it really that bad? And I go back, and my pants, like, I had like, the mud and everything up to like, close above my knees. So it was crazy. Like, some tents completely got washed out. So when they say it's good to be emergency prepared, it is important to be emergency prepared. Thankfully for virtual campouts, you don't have to do that, which is great. And a great segue.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, Elizabeth, you can join on the link, or you can, because I know you guys did a virtual campout as well for your pack. So you can join as well if you want. And I'm doing a live. So if you guys, I have the live up. If you have questions, drop them below. So that way I can answer them. I'm going to go in between doing the presentation, checking the questions on live. And let me know if you guys can't see anything. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. We are going to present. Voila. Okay. So I'm going to take this down so I can see. Okay, so this is for the virtual campout and the virtual community service. And I felt like it was good to do both. I could do them as separate trainings. I don't mind doing that. And of course, you can always access the live on All About Scouts. So that way you can be able to view it again if you have any questions. And if I don't cover anything, I will follow up and I can answer questions in the Facebook, below the Facebook Live itself. So yes, and this is the All About Scouts page. Oop, my bad, sorry. So for All About Scouts, for the virtual campout, what I do is, this is the event for April. This is the event for May. So you'll see two different links for the events. The one is for the one currently going on, and the one is for May. One of the great things about the virtual camp out and the way that I set it up the way that I did was so that way it was open to everybody. And I felt like that was really, really important. For those that do not know, and Tim knows how crazy I am, I love my scouting. You know, I definitely believe green because I'm a Girl Scout leader, a Boy Scout leader, a Cub Scout leader, technically do venturing. So I really wanted to make sure that this was open to all my units. Just so you guys know that like every virtual camp out is going to look completely different, and every pack and every troop has a different culture to it. So even my Cub Scout pack and my Girl Scout troop had different kinds of virtual campouts. When I talk a little bit further about how I did it, I want you to keep that in mind in terms of how you can do it. And we have Kriste who can share a little bit about what she did as well. Kriste is from Texas. She is a Scouts BSA. I was gonna say admin. Woo, you're an admin too. But she's a Scoutmaster. This is when you know I've been scouting too much and it's the end of the week. And Elizabeth is also a Scout leader, and she is from Georgia. And I know that they did a little bit of a virtual camp out as well. Okay, so one nice thing about this is that you can share it to your units, leaders, families, and even your friends really easily. As crazy as it sounds, I've actually had, for my Cub Scout pack, I have one person who wants to join the pack now, and that wasn't before, and I have 2 or 3 people that want to join, girls that want to join my Girl Scout troop, which was funny because it was only by word of mouth through a couple of the families. So, you know, when we talk about more towards the fall about retention, it's funny because we've talked a little bit about, is this going to be able to help retain scouts and all that stuff? I think it might, and it gives us a unique opportunity to reach scouts that we would not have been able to reach otherwise, which is really cool. So for the timing, I got a question about, okay, well, I've seen a lot of people do the 2 days, you know, you'll see that, by the way, National is doing one, I believe May 2nd and 3rd. And I'll share that I've shared that on my Facebook page. And if anybody knows a chef, I'm going to put this out there. If anybody knows a good chef, people that they can give shout outs to that, you know, can help out, National does want help with that. And I posted that somewhere on my page below.
How about Jose Andres? He's not busy right now.
If you can help set that up, that would be super awesome.
No, he's feeding the world right now. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, where's my meal? Just kidding. No, that's awesome. See, you know, that's the one thing about, you know, about what's happened with COVID-19 is more people are coming together in a way I don't think I've ever seen before. And that's really, really cool to see, both inside scouting and outside of scouting. But yeah, so we've had the, you know, well, you know, I've seen people do it for 2 days. Why do you do it for 2 weeks? And the reason why I do it for 2 weeks is very, very incredibly simple. It gives my scouts more accessibility to actually be able to do it. I have, you know, I know with a lot of our parents in our pack, and anyone knows that knows my pack, and Tim, you do, it's a very large pack. And I did not want families to feel like they could not obtain doing this, that they only had to do in 2 days. Because realistically, people have work schedules, people might get sick. And we wanted to make this as easily accessible to them as possible. And I think that that's really super duper important. Also, believe it or not, unless you're doing lives every single day, it is really not that much more work than doing it for 2 days. And I think that that's really incredibly important. With, you know, and I'll go into more how I did it for my pack a little bit later. But does anybody have any questions on the timing? And I meant to put a question mark here because I can't really think of too many reasons why 2 days is better than 2 weeks, personally. But does anybody have it? And you can come off mute, please do. Does anybody have any questions about timing?
Are you going to put any of these slides so we can copy them?
Yeah, I can do that, and I'll like touch them up and make them look a little bit nicer too. And it's also on the live as well, so anyone on Facebook right now can see this. Let's see.
Hey, do you also have like a document section on your page where you could like post these slides as well, just individually?
I will check. I haven't done that in the past, but I can definitely check. Okay, let me see if there's any questions on the timing really quick before I go to the Den Chief one. And I realize that this is full screen, so I can't see the Facebook Live. Elizabeth, do you want to introduce yourself and while I'm looking this up real quick?
Yesterday and today we had our, it was not called as virtual campout, it was called as backyard camping. And both councils, whether it was Northeast Georgia, as well as Atlanta Area Council did it. And what I noticed in both the councils was it was different, at least the way they kept telling about it in the beginning. It really did garner interest from everyone in joining that particular Facebook page and being actively involved in it. And what I'd seen in my council was just do the camp out. So, either you could camp in your own living room or you could camp in your backyard. And if you could want to do stuff like cooking or, setting up the camp and all, that was the only thing which was stressed over there. Whereas in the Atlanta Area Council, what I noticed was they had a plan. So they had organized it in such a way that, they did things according to a schedule. And the schedule, I think, I didn't check that out before, so I was not sure of that schedule, but they did have a schedule in which what was done in each time. So if you want, you could join in at this particular time and put out stuff, or you could take pictures and post it as such. So they did have a very good way of doing a rocket launch and kind of stuff for kids, and then separate cub activities, separate troop activities and all that. So that is something which should be considered when they're doing the camp out. Maybe for the first time, let it just be fun. And from what I noticed in the Northeast Georgia Council page was, being the first time we're doing such a thing, people really liked it. So it was more of have fun with your own family, try to cook something, try to make a fire, and put up a tent or put up a hammock, just have fun. So that was
that's a really good point. And actually, I think that, for our council, so the majority of us who are on here are from the National Capital Area Council, not to be confused with the Capital Area Council. So, we are looking to, think about what are ways that council can, do these events in the best way possible for Cubs. And I think that, especially for our district, and we have 2 districts represented currently, we would love to have something like a virtual camp out between different packs and troops. And keep in mind that I didn't put this in the slides, but Tim and I were talking, and he has a pack as well. It's not too far from ours. And he was talking about how he was thinking about how he's going to do his and all sorts of stuff. And I'm like, oh, I wish you would have told me. Like, I would totally just would have had you join us, So keep in mind that you can work with other packs while you're doing this, and you can work with other troops. And it helps tremendously if you have smaller packs too. And I'll have Kriste introduce herself after we go over the Cub stuff, so that way she can talk about how she did it for how the Ministry of Magic worked their magic to do an awesome camp out for the Hufflepuff Patrol. Yeah, that's never gonna get old. I'm sorry, Kriste. Sorry, Kriste is here. She's her troop number, I have to preface, is 9 3/4 or 934.
Oh, nice.
Which I love. Okay, so Den Chiefs. Now, I don't know that many people have thought about this, but please utilize your Den Chiefs. Work with your Scoutmasters, talk to them, and think about how you can have them help you. Because at the end of the day, if they're like mine, several of my den chiefs are working towards their den chief award, which takes the whole year to earn. And I would not want them to not be able to earn that award simply for the fact that they were not, because of COVID-19. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Natalie. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Hola. So we, what I did is I went and I said, I want to utilize the den chiefs and I want them to help with the virtual camp out because this is something they're very good at. And being a leader in both Troop 33 and Pack 33, it's helpful because I know their strengths and I know how both units work. And I can kind of help them a little bit in terms of making sure that they are practicing their leadership skills well. And even if you're just a pack leader, you can still obviously do that. But it's really important for them to make rank requirements for their leadership and all of that stuff. And I will say you will be amazed. We will, it is amazing. Like the den chiefs will step up. You have to remember most den chiefs are, between, like 11 or 12 and 16 years old. They know how to work this. They're on Zoom calls all the time with their teachers. Hey, Andrea, there's another leader I know. So there's a tremendous benefit in utilizing your den chiefs well, and they could totally teach you so many things. And let's see, I had to do this the other way. Okay, there we go. So the tips is, because I don't know if you're, and it sounds like Tim, your pack is like mine, and feel free to chime in, anybody, if your packs are like mine. But our leaders, again, because they have work schedules and they are adjusting to homeschooling and everything, they have not had as well the ability to meet regularly, because it's not just the den chiefs, it's also the parents who are also, we're all in the same predicament essentially. So a lot of them have been like, okay, well, let's work on this requirement at home, but they haven't set up a Zoom, as many Zoom calls as yet. Sorry. So for our dens, some of them have met, some of them have not. And again, because every den has a different culture. So I've told my den chiefs, if your den meets, show up in uniform and be willing to help. But what's nice about the virtual campouts and on a pack level is it does still count for the Den Chief Award, is I put them together as like their own patrol, so to speak. And I said, we're going to work together. And they have been amazing. And I really mean that. Like, let them have their own ideas, let them roll with it. And you'd be amazed what they come up with. So, instead of just having like the PLC, how like in a troop setting, you have your PLC meetings, which is the patrol leader meetings. Mm-hmm. Instead, I did like a den chief leader meetings where I got the 5 of them together and we started throwing around ideas and they started taking the lead on it themselves. And I'm not talking for the whole virtual campout, I'm talking for the activity that they choose. So for example, the first one, when we did our virtual campfire, they did the scavenger hunt, which was extremely successful. They chose what they were going to do, they chose how they were going to do it, and they led it. And they did an incredible job. Yesterday, they did the Scout Jeopardy, and they did an amazing job. And somehow both teams tied. And they were asking really hard questions. I was impressed. And so I think that, again, giving them that leadership is really, really helpful. And it connects them with other dens as well. The one thing I will suggest, if you're doing virtual things like what we did for the Scout Jeopardy yesterday, we had to split people into teams, is write down who's there. And I just got a piece of paper, wrote down who was there. I had them check in, and just like some of you guys have written, like Kriste, trip 9 3/4. I had them write, Kriste, den 5. So I knew what den everybody was in, and so I split them up evenly. So each team had a mix of different dens. Hey, Sean. Each team had a mix of different dens, so it was about even. So it'd be fair, of course. And it's been amazing to see all of the scouts from different dens interact in a way that they would not have otherwise. So they're getting, when you're at a big pack camp out, a lot of the times the den say to themselves, not that they say to themselves, but even when they're playing, the boys in the dens will generally play with the other boys in their den. They won't always play with boys from other dens. And sometimes they will, and they do with ours, of course, because we're huge. But this helps us facilitate that a little bit more. So keep that in mind when you're doing virtual stuff, and especially interactive. But again, utilize our den chiefs. They're amazing. They will come up with ideas you haven't thought of. They will know, like I didn't put together the Scout Jeopardy at all. One of the den chiefs did. Okay, so the other question I got asked, is there any questions either from the people who are here right now or on Facebook Live about utilizing your den chiefs, or having any questions about that? No? Okay. So for your activities, you can do both live and not. And I got asked this question, well, how do I know activities to do live and activities not to do live? Mine, I kept mostly not live because, again, of schedules. You know, our pack has scouts from DC, Maryland, and Maryland, right? Montgomery County, their school schedule is normally pretty much the same. Hey, Renee, how are you? And for DC, though, every school is completely different. So you're working around a lot of different school schedules, essentially. So I wanted to keep that in mind and keep, I don't know, parents' sanity in mind. So when you're doing this, just keep in mind, it's good to do a combination of both live and activities they can do from home. I did activities that were not live, basically saying, please go, and I want you to explore what scout skills you want to, and come and take those and you know, share those in the event. Like if you tied knots, great, go share that in the event. If you did if you pitch a tent in your living room, great, share that. If you live in an apartment and don't have a tent, you know, did you make a fort underneath your kitchen, you know, underneath your kitchen table? Great. When I say kitchen table, it's because some people in the city have their kitchen and their dining room combined. Hey, Janine. The Den Chiefs and I did a little bit of both. But what we did when we did the weekend events, because I told you we did it over 2 weekends, we did one event over the first weekend, which was the scavenger hunt, which was part of the campfire, and that was really cool. And again, my Girl Scouts did the scavenger hunt as well, but it looked completely different. So it's going to look different for each unit. But what we did is we had each den chief come up with things they wanted the scouts to go find, and they each took turns to do it. So instead of giving them one list, they each took turns. And it was actually kind of amazing because I was totally anticipating a scout going off, trying to find something, and then like being like, oh, look, the TV's on. I'm going to sit and watch the TV instead. But that did not happen. I was shocked. Every scout came back. They were totally interactive. We didn't lose one scout when they were doing that. And I was shocked because we have 5 different den chiefs and they each had to find 5 or 6 things for each den chief. So they definitely had a lot of fun. They were looking forward to it. The Scout Jeopardy, we did the same time, the same day, just the second weekend. So we did our Scout Jeopardy yesterday at 3 o'clock. So the first weekend we did our campfire at 3 o'clock on Saturday. So when you do events, if you can keep it to the same day and time. It's really easier, just like your den meetings. It's easier for parents to remember. But yeah, no, I mean, again, like I did this so that way each den or each scout could really just explore. Because again, if we ask them to do a knot, not all scouts will have rope available to be able to practice a knot. So that's something to keep in mind. The other thing we did is we had them, you know, share it. The way I set it up is, because I got asked, well, how did you set it up? Well, I did Facebook and I did Zoom, right? For the Facebook, I created the event. This is for the one in May. Hey, Richard. So I utilized events so people can post there, and I'll show you how you can take attendance in a minute. But it's really nice for the events because then, you know, for example, if Kriste's posting something her troop is doing, I can easily be like, oh, I didn't think of that. That's genius. And it really kind of gathers together people, not just in your own unit, but scouts from around the country. And really scouts from around the world. And I think that that's really important, because right now, there's a plethora of activities and stuff you can find, but it's nice when you see, oh, this is what someone has actually done. It's like the Pinterest version of, oh, look, I tried a recipe. Ooh, this did not work. And it's easier to find that out through like the event. Hey, Brian, there's someone from California. I haven't talked to you in a long time. There is a really cool way to be able to just interact with other packs and troops too. For the Zoom is free currently for anybody up to 40 minutes. I highly suggest that your pack master or your pack cub master or your troop scout master to set that up if they're able to. If they're not able to, then I would highly suggest that you have someone else who is able and will be the main one running all of the events, signing it up, so that way you don't have any issues. And our pack decided, because a lot of our stuff is more than 40 minutes, I highly suggest spending the money. I've tried WebEx for my Girl Scouts. I don't like the way it's set up a lot of the same way, but WebEx, we just had issues, and my scouts were not able to access it all the time, and they were kicked out. And we're gonna try it again and see maybe if that has changed. But I highly suggest Zoom. Zoom works very well. And a lot of the scouts know how to use it as well, which is really important to be able to utilize it. And when you do that, you'll be able to do virtual campouts, and you'll be able to do virtual full pack meetings, including, doing the scout oath, the scout law, the Pledge of Allegiance, everything. So keep that in mind. For the virtual campout, and I'll create like a and I think this is based off of the one in April, but I can go ahead and do a post, share that to you guys, and I'll share it down below in the live as well, so you can share it to your units. So that way it kind of takes the guesswork out of it, and then you could just customize it to, we are going to meet for our Zooming on Friday at 3. Like whatever you choose to do, you can kind of edit it, but you can utilize the event and have them post there. Or like what we did is I started a Facebook group as well. But it doesn't, both do not work the same way. And it's nice to like be able to look in the event and be able to see everything. A group, when you utilize a group, you'll have many things posted. So sometimes it's not as easy to do the search. But again, if people post in the event, if parents are posting in the event, you're good, right? Because they're the ones posting. You don't have to worry about all of the things you would normally worry about if you were the one posting, pictures or videos of, of other people. So keep that in mind as well. So I put it's open to all. So you can participate as an individual. Even scouters can participate. And anyone who doesn't know, a scouter is an adult scouter. It's usually a leader, a family, or as a unit. And you can camp inside, underneath the table, in your living room. And then, because I was in a joke mode, I put in a boat and a moat. And, bonus points if you find Dr. Seuss. But I want picture proof. Okay. Sorry, I'm a big kid at heart.
Yeah.
And then share video and pictures. Elizabeth shared some pictures of her family doing her virtual camp out in the event for April. And you'll just edit that and put it, for May. Now here is where a lot of people may get confused. So for your attendance, the way that we do attendance is I said, okay, take a picture of your camping experience, even if it's a picture of the tent, even if you don't want to have the scout in the picture, that's fine. Take a picture of, you guys doing something for virtual camp out or a video, and post it in the event. And then you would put your scout's first name. And hi, James. And I highly suggest doing their first name. If a family uses both names, that's fine. But some are only going to want to use their scout's first name obviously for privacy reasons. And we want to respect that. So, they would put their scout's first name, their den and level. So it would be like, Anthony, Den 5, Tigers, and then pack 23, right? So that way when you go to scroll, it's really easy to take attendance. You can even put how many people did it. So if the whole family did it, you know, like it would be my 3 kids and myself, right? So that's 4 people. The 4 of us, you know, camped in the living room. It was a lot of fun. You know, it just gives a little bit more description to what they did. And then when you use the hashtags all about scouts, because then it helps keep it in one area. So you can, so if everybody's using the same hashtag of virtual spring campout 2020, then it's harder to pinpoint where it's located. So you could do all about scouts and virtual spring campout 2020, and using both of those hashtags will allow you to really be able to find everybody in the event. Or say that someone posts on their personal page and not in the event, you'll still be able to find it usually. And then you put your hashtag, your pack or troop number. So, you know, my pack number is 33. My Scouts BSA troop number is troop 1123. Bonus points if you can tell me what the 1123 means. And Ken and Kriste, you can't answer because you already know. I saw the face from Kriste. I'm like, no, you can't say nothing yet. And then like I'm also in troop 33. So what's beautiful about this, right, is if I have so obviously I have several different units. I have 4 different units that if we camp out, right, I could put pack 33, troop 1123, troop 33, and Girl Scout troop 5823. So you can put that all in the same post. So technically, if you're doing a virtual camp out and you're in multiple units, you can put that so it counts for all of them, which is really important. Because, you know, some people are not going to want to do, you know, if they're not, you know, they don't bleed green like we do, they're not going to want to camp out every weekend, you know. So it's something to keep in mind. The disclaimer, obviously, like I, you know, run multiple groups. I can't take attendance for your group. I can help answer questions if you have it on how to do it, but make sure that you have someone that is helping you to take the take attendance. So for me, whoever would have normally done the camp out planning and stuff, those are the people that I'm doing as Cub Masters, and I'm appointing them to take attendance for me. And so they're looking up these hashtags and they're helping to do the attendance for me, which is really important. Is there any questions on that? Because that's probably the most confusing part. Anybody on Facebook? Because I do have both up. Let's see. Oh, that's awesome, Kriste. You should share that in the event. That's really cool. I feel like that in my chair a lot too, by the way. Sorry, Kriste shared to me the a post, and I can't tell which. That's definitely one of your scouts though, and they're like sitting like curled up on the chair, and I'm like, that's how I sit all the time because I'm pretty small. So for the Virtual Earth Community Service, it works a lot of the same way, and this is a little bit different because a lot of us are as units are working for our GTE for, you know, the Journey to Excellence. Hey, Peter, welcome. If you want to edit and put what pack you're from, that would be awesome. So everybody else can know who you are. So what we did is we did, you know, you RSVP'd the event. This is one for April. I'll do one again for May, don't worry. Of course. Again, share it to your units, families, and friends. Hey, Stephen. Stephen is, shout out to Stephen. He is one of my parents and super active. He's in pack 33. He's awesome. And I think I just embarrassed him. No, just kidding. Hey, Peter, I can see your face. So this is really cool because this one, I want to encourage people to do it as often as you can, like get creative, do as much as you want, as little as you want. And I think that this is really cool because it's, hey, Amanda. Amanda is from pack 2835 from Chesterfield, Virginia. That's cool. Well, you're probably cloudy like we are. It's, of course, Ken is going to sit there and brag and be like, but look, it's sunny and it's like 90 degrees over here in Texas.
Oh my God, it's so wonderful.
See, told you. Actually, we'll be sharing Ken just did something for, he took all these questions from all these scouts from around the nation and he went to a dino park yesterday. So that's going to be on All About Scouts as well. And yeah, please do follow All About Scouts, you know, or actually if you like the page, you'll be able to see the post. I've been working a lot on finding resources from around the nation. to share. And if you find something, let me know, and I will most definitely share it. If your pack or troop or a scout in your pack did something and you want to share it, let me know, because we really want to show that we are still scouting. And I think that scouters have gotten super creative, and it's really, really, really cool. Yeah, we've had rain. I don't think in DC we didn't have rain as much yesterday. It wasn't until yesterday evening. Sorry, Amanda's saying it's been raining in Virginia for 2 days. I'm so sorry. So the Virtual Earth Month community service was all April long. The one I do for May is likely going to be for 2 weeks because of the way Facebook sets up events. So that's the other thing you need to know. When you set up Facebook, do Facebook events and stuff, it's better to do it as 2 weeks. When you go beyond that, it gets a little bit harder to, like, you can manage it. You could do events for a month, but then it individualizes the days, which becomes harder. So, just keep that in mind when you do it. So we normally go to Sligo Creek, right? And we clean, and anyone who lives around here, Tim, you can speak to this. You know where Sligo Creek is. Mm-hmm. You can get on, you go to Sligo Creek, you clean out the creek for a day, and it's fun. We found almost a whole set of tires once in one go, which was kind of impressive. And I want to know what car lost 3 tires. And they went all over the place. Anyway, the nice thing about this is you could do it instead of, most of our community service is done as a whole pack or a whole troop. The nice thing about the virtual camp out is that scouts can get creative. They can do it themselves. If a DIN really wanted to try to coordinate what they were going to do for a community service, they can. I'm probably most likely going to be doing a DC diaper drive and a free little library one, and I'll share those for May as well. I just haven't had time to post them, but I'll probably be doing that for all scouters, but especially for my units, because I also do for other Girl Scout troops as well, because I'm a service unit program person. So I'll most likely be doing both. And the nice thing about the DC diaper bank, and if you have a diaper bank near you, what you could do is you could say, we're going to do a diaper bank, and we're going to, people don't always have to physically send in diapers. They can literally have them mailed to the person who's the diaper ambassador. And be able to participate. Or even Kriste, if she really wanted to participate in the DC diaper drive, but didn't have an ambassador near her, she could literally go on Amazon and have something shipped to my address, and it would work. But Kriste, I trust you enough not to give my address out to the whole world. So I'll send that to you. No, I'm just she's sitting here laughing. Nobody else sees it, but I do. So she gets my joke. Michelle, Kriste says, I bet 934 is a popular number. Yes, it is. I can't wait to see. Yeah, no, actually, Michelle, I had asked Kriste to do a Facebook Live all about how she does it, because if anybody outdoes what 9 3/4 is, and anybody could make the movie, it's Kriste, because she's amazing at it. And I still claim, Gryffindor. It's never gonna go away. Sorry. Okay. Oh, back one. So the same way that the nice thing is that a lot of people who can't go out, right? Again, they can go online. They can order something and have it sent. They could, they don't have to go in person. If you have the free little library, yes, a scout can walk the books to their local free little library, but they can also mail a book to the person who does the free little library. And I like this because if your libraries are like mine, they're completely closed. We don't have any libraries open right now. So, a lot of people do not have kids that normally focus on being able to utilize the libraries no longer have this. So if you have a free little library near you, I highly suggest utilizing it. For my council and especially my district and my service units, I don't mind giving my address to you guys so you guys can utilize that if you don't have one near you. But DC, we tend to have a lot of them near us. But encourage your scouts to do that too. When they're on their walk, they can go put it in. For the and again, what they do is they could put on their uniform. They don't have to. They would just be like, oh look, I'm putting books in the free little library. Like, take a picture and then you just post it in the event and just say what you did. This is the difference though between the virtual campout and the virtual community service. is that when they take that picture and they post it, they need to put how long they did it for, right? So we did, if you go to the event for April, you'll see that I posted about, they did a virtual, or a neighborhood, a distance Easter egg hunt, right? So, someone in our neighborhood actually printed out little Easter eggs to give to everybody in our neighborhood. And you color them and you put them up outside. And when all these kids walked around on Easter, they could basically do an Easter egg hunt if they couldn't afford to do one otherwise. And they just walk around the neighborhood and see how many eggs they could find. And I thought that was really super cool. I definitely consider it community service because it helps those that can't afford to do it on their own be able to do it. Because a lot of the city ones are shut down, obviously. So if you do stuff like that, you can literally post what you did and how long it took. And then what we'll do is, I'll go through and I'll go, okay, this is, how many from DIN 6 did it. And this is how long it took them. And, this is how many people did it. So then I put in the community service hours that way. So it still counts for the journey to excellence. Because if we're really realistic, and I know we just had our district meeting. So, I know that our roundtable, not our district meeting, our roundtable. And so I know that, NCAC hasn't made that decision yet, but GSCNC, so our local Girl Scout council did make the decision already. There's no activities until mid-August. So, I plan to try to come up with really cool ideas for events. And if you guys have events, let me know. I will definitely share them. And to try to help engage scouts over the summer as well for things like the Summertime Award and community service and all sorts of stuff, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Because again, the more that scouts are engaged, the better. And when you do these events too, I highly suggest asking scouts, what do you want to do? You would be surprised what scouts come up with. Like one scout said he wanted to do a weekly STEM competition, which I thought was super duper cool. And if you don't know my email, you can always go to All About Scouts on Facebook and just direct message me. And I'm on Facebook. I'm never on Facebook. I'm always on Facebook. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm also, obviously on Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. So, please do, like and follow because it helps you to see things. And I don't always post things across the same board, but I usually share everything on Facebook. That is Susan. Okay, so Susan Lafreda said our library is doing door pickups on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Where are you? Because that's amazing. Because ours is definitely not doing that. Amanda Kirby says we have a local scout who's doing an Eagle Project cards for local nursing homes and mini packs that are joining in. I love that. I would totally share that. I will say if you go to the virtual community service, you'll find I did an image. If you're gonna do stuff like do cards, please don't do like if you do them in if you have your scouts sit down and do cards at their house, have them take a picture of it. Because again, nursing homes especially are more prone to getting this virus. And it's just, there's so much about this virus that we are still learning. So I highly suggest to do it that way. Take a picture, keep them, so that way afterwards you can still deliver it. But if you take a picture of it and email it and share it, then it's nice because you can have your you could send it in, and then the person on the other side can literally print it out and actually show it to everybody, which is kind of cool too. And I just make that suggestion just because, Tim and I were talking about this a little bit earlier. I kind of have a suspicion I probably have the coronavirus, which was odd because I was actually staying inside a lot. And I only went to things I absolutely 100% had to go to. Yes, Amanda, that's another good one. So, we can't do Sligo Creek. Amanda says, my family has been taking multiple walks in the neighborhood and take a bag with us every time to pick up trash along the way. So that totally counts. Just take a picture of it. It counts. The biggest thing I will say is obviously use common sense in terms of having gloves on. Sometimes there are local organizations that will actually have bags and gloves out for you. And if they don't, then reach out to someone who can. That's actually super helpful. And again, obviously the common sense, throw it away in your trash before you get into your house. and then, you know, do the shimmy game and go run and jump in the shower. Okay, I'm gonna check the Zoom chat too. Oh, how do I create the outdoor scene behind me? So if you go down to where it says stop video and there's a little arrow, if you click up, it will show you select a camera and it'll say, you know, the camera that you're currently using. It'll say video settings and it'll say choose a virtual background. So if anyone can guess, you know, and Tim, you can't guess. William, you can't guess because you know. Ken, you can't guess, and Kriste, you can't guess. Does anybody know where I'm at?
Outside.
I'm outside. I have my head in the clouds. I don't know what you're talking about. I always have my head in the clouds when it comes to scouting. I'm a dreamer.
You are in Philmont.
That's a good guess, but no. That is actually one goal. I do have a goal to go to Philmont eventually. And by the way, if you have any other questions on Facebook, let me know. Just put it in the chat because I can't see the chat. It's on my phone right next to me. And do you guys have any questions in here?
Oh, I put stuff on. Oh, okay.
So you're gonna post your Google, basically your all the pages you had, right? So we can tag those.
Yeah, and it's live on Facebook, so people I can post that link too, so people can watch the whole thing too.
Yeah. Unfortunately, us folks that are on Zoom don't have it. So. And people that want backgrounds, everybody out there now is putting out or making Zoom backgrounds since it's so popular now. So if you just go online and Google Zoom backgrounds, I know CBS is doing it, HBO is doing it, REI put out a bunch. Mine is a REI background. So
I was wondering.
Yeah. As you notice, my fire is not moving. Yeah, so they all do it. Now, if you don't have a green screen background, then you get this little lag. But they're all cool. Then
Elizabeth, you got called out. Michelle goes, there's too much water in the background for it to be Philmont. Also, the other thing I'll share real quick before I forget, hold on one second. So if when you go to the events, and can you guys see the event?
Camp Snyder.
Okay. Oh, it is not Camp Snyder, but that's really close.
Okay.
That's really, 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 really close. So if you go to like I gotta go back to the page. So when you go to my page, right? If you go down, you'll see these links right here. If you click, click events, there you go. And then you'll scroll up. You'll go to, so you'll see that I have the virtual one. This is the BSA one I have up here. And this is the May 2020. So you can go to the May 2020. And this is the event link, right? So you could say, I'm going. I didn't even RSVP to my own event. How sad is that? Look, now I'm going. But what you could do is you can post in here. I find that some people have issues with when they go on, that it's easier to do it on mobile in terms of posting, by the way, just FYI. But say that I want to invite people. I already got permission to do this. Oh, let's invite Rhonda too, because I like her. Actually, Rhonda's actually down in Virginia too. So I'm going to invite Tim. Tim, you are invited officially, and you are knighted.
Wow.
Yay. So you can invite people to the event. So that way they can kind of see everything. So that's also the other important thing to note. And again, I will post on my normal page, I'll post the whole post so you can share it and you can just edit as you need to. But I just wanted to share that so that way in case people didn't know how to do that, they can. Okay, so Kevin, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say, do I need to contact you directly to get your virtual camp out? I kind of like some of the scenes that I'm sure you have a lot of scenes back there on your virtual camp out.
In terms of what's behind me?
Yes.
No, actually, it's funny because I went to go do a live and I was like, oh, I need a virtual camp out. And a lot of them are memes because, you know, like I do my Facebook page and I'm blogging and everything. So I literally had to just go to the first one I found, and it just happened to be this one because this was for the virtual campfire or the virtual camp out. Does anybody know where this is? Rhonda, if you're on, you might know where this is. Janine, if you're still watching, you probably know where this is. Stephen Mager, I know you know where this is. And Richard Manfield and Renee and Sean, I bet you guys know where this is. Kevin, can you guess? Oh, you're on mute. We can't hear you.
I can hear you. You can hear me now.
I can hear you now.
It looks like my home area. I used to live in Roanoke, Virginia, which is Blue Ridge Mountains. So it looks more like that, but I don't know where you are right now.
Actually, someone else gets Blue Ridge too. Marty did. Tim, is this camp in the Blue Ridge?
No.
Shenandoah area?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Is it in Shenandoah? William's nodding his head, is it?
I don't think so. I think it's.
Evan, you said it before.
What? I did?
Said it before. I heard you, but nobody else did. You said it right before you said Camp Snyder.
I'm trying to think what.
Greenridge State Park.
What did you say, Peter?
Greenridge State Park. And
That's a really good guess.
Okay.
It looks like looking down now.
It's not.
Oh, William, Marty says that he likes your battlefield backdrop. You probably did say it before. So, you know, Camp Snyder would be the first step, right? Where do you go after Camp Snyder? You go to camp?
That's with a G.
Goshen?
Yeah, pretty much. It's Camp Ross.
Oh, Ross, right.
So it's the Goshen Reservation.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's really beautiful because it's funny, like, I think it's like right there is the camp, I think. I could be wrong.
Ross is boss.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see, like, how many people know what Blue Hole is?
It took us all week, years and years ago, to find where Blue Hole was.
And we'll never say where it is. Mwahaha. Actually, it's fun because you jump off this really big rock and you go, and it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. Although, if we don't get to go this year, I'm gonna be really sad. Which,
Yeah, don't hold your breath.
Oh, that's
no,
right.
I really, really want to go. It's gonna be so much fun. Like, oh, and it's perfect too because one of the other leaders actually is, he was the lifeguard. He worked at the aquatics for a very long time when he was a scout. So he actually helped to do, you know, like make sure we got, you know, all of our T's, you know, crossing our I's dotted, making sure that we are water safe.
Yeah, that's a nice place to go to, Ross. I hope everything opens.
I do too, but like Tim says, I am not holding my breath.
Oh,
I've seen from around the nation. So if you guys don't know, because I also do like the Cub Scout volunteers, the Boy Scout volunteers, Scouts PSA. I help manage and do a lot of Facebook groups for Scouters. What I've seen across the board, and I think it's happening maybe more with the Girl Scout units right now, but I've seen a couple of councils that are Boy Scout units saying we've canceled. So
For all you not from this area, Camp Ross is our summer Weeblos camp.
yeah, and it actually has it has Goshen on it too, but it has several other camps, does it not?
It's in Southern Virginia. Goshen is the overall name, but there's like 2 or 3 Boy Scout or
Like Bowman.
Oh,
Six,
William says
yes,
6. How many? Like, do you know all the names of them? And go. I know you do.
It's
So
Marriott.
Ross and Marriott are Weeblos camps.
Mhm.
The other one.
Bowman, I'm sorry, Ross and PMI are Weeblos camps. Marriott, Bowman, and Olmsted are the Boy Scout camps. And then Hoxton is the High Adventure.
Is there one that deal with Cope?
Cope is a separate area.
Okay.
It's open to all of the camps, or at least all the Boy Scout camps it's open to.
Scouts BSA.
Scouts BSA.
I still use both of them. Actually, Kriste. So Kriste, you know, speaking of Scouts BSA, I I know, like, I'm an ASM for a Scouts BSA troop, but you know, that doesn't trump actually being a Scoutmaster for a Scouts BSA troop. Do you want to share how you guys did your virtual camp out so people can kind of see the difference from a Scouts BSA perspective? And you have to like explain what's behind you because it's awesome. I love it.
Okay, probably can't see. I've got my golden snitch on. We are troop 9 3/4.
Wow.
And this is the patrol flag for the adults when we are the Ministry of Magic. We've got the patrol flags for all the other houses, but we only currently are using one, which is the Hufflepuff Patrol. And but we've got the other flags ready to go, and the girls add their individual things to it. So when we met on Monday as a troop, we discussed our virtual camp out and what we would do. Kind of set it up just like you normally would a troop camp out. As far as, you know, cooking was split up, of course, between each individual person. They had to choose their own menu and then cook for their families. We chose a couple of activities, not really sure knowing how we were going to do this camp out because it was our first camp out. So we had advancement opportunities. We had just a couple of online Zoom activities. We had, you know, but when the day came around, I got everything set up through Zoom. We all came together at 3 o'clock on Saturday and did an opening flag ceremony. Kind of went around and did a virtual tour of our campsites individually, so everybody got to show off their backyards. And then we went ahead and had everybody set up their tents. They could stay on the Zoom meeting and have that just put up their tents that way. Some people dropped off and went and put up their tents and then came back on. Once we had everybody back in the Zoom meeting, we went ahead and did a couple little activities, but due to some battery issues, we called it short. So we were probably only back for maybe about 30 minutes after we set up our campsites, and just we played a online Zoom activity and went back over a Jeopardy, a game that we had done in a troop meeting. And then we went ahead and broke out for our dinners. So we had dinner planned for 5:30. We actually got off our Zoom call about 4:45. So they had plenty of time to go through and make their dinner and get all the cleanups taken care of for their families. And then we came back together at 6:30. 6:30, I live out in the country, so we were setting up our campfire. And which one is it?
I have a question. That when you did points for your Scout Jeopardy, do you do it like you do in Harry Potter?
No.
Oh, darn.
No, so we actually make up our categories for the Jeopardy are just kind of made up based off of what they were. So we had a whole Scout Jeopardy or Scout meeting about safety afloat and safe swim. So we had we had the principles. We had a section on merit badges that all had to deal with water. We had location, which dealt all about with where and when you can swim. We had one that was called What Knots, which was all about the knots that you use. We had one was Row, Row, Row Your Boat, which was all about the different parts of a boat. So we just name them whatever, but we don't focus all of our activities on Harry Potter, just most of them.
Oh no, I meant when you were awarding points afterwards, like 10 points to Gryffindor. You know, that's what I was meaning.
Oh,
But I like the row your boat because that's not an easy requirement, even in our troop. I like doing that as a Jeopardy. That's a really good idea. I'll suggest it to our Scoutmaster to pass on to the PLC because that requirement, like most of our boys don't get on boats, so having to sit down and just read it from a book is different than being able to do it interactively and by Jeopardy. I like that a lot better.
Yes. And so now that I've got the picture I wanted to share. Why does it keep taking the wrong one? Presenting the right one. This is weird. Alrighty, so when we got back together for our campfire, we had specific things that we were planning on doing. It didn't necessarily turn out the way our campfire was actually planned. About the only thing that we really did that was actually planned out on Monday was some of the girls shared their skills. So my daughter, she's in color guard with her school. She did a whole little rifle routine of twirling and throwing that thing around. I've got one scout who's a juggler, and she went on and did a juggling routine for about 2 or 3 minutes. Another one who's really into card tricks. So they just kind of shared all of that, and that's pretty much where our planning ended. From there, we did have another scout from Washington State join in with us, who is also a Harry Potter themed troop. And for the most part, I think they played a round or two of charades. They did some silly questions of, would you rather do this or that, or go here or there? And then for the most part, they just sat back and talked about what they were doing and how things were going. And as Scoutmasters, we just kind of sat back and just let them talk, which is for your first camp out virtually is probably the best thing you can do. So plan out things to do and offer suggestions, but don't force those activities. Just, let them happen. The scouts are often, they're there with their family and their siblings if they have any. So just giving the opportunity of letting them hang out and just be kids and goof off is probably the best thing you can do for them. After we closed up our campfire on Saturday night, we made plans to get back together on Sunday morning after breakfast. We got back together and did a scout zone. We did some signing off for requirements and pretty much called it a day. Did our closing and everybody went off on their way. One went to a venturing meeting and all that. So.
Well, Kriste, I have a question. When you were getting together, was that all done through Zoom, or did you use other ways to communicate? And is there like a 40-minute?
What we would do is I had the Zoom meeting set up for 12 hours. So we started at 3 and I think we had it for 9 hours because I had it turned off at midnight, even though I knew we weren't going to be up that long. And I left my computer up and running the entire time. The SPL then would go and if we were getting back together at a certain time, like when we were making out for dinner, it was okay, we'll be back at 6:30, and that was good for everybody. But if there was like, okay, we're gonna take a little bit of a break, and the SPL will text the patrol or the troop on what time we should come back together again, give them like a 10-minute warning or a 15-minute and say, hey, come back in 15 minutes, we've got another activity.
Yeah. Did you have to be indoors to do Zoom? Because if you're out outside, how do you get the connection and all that? How'd that work?
I've got probably about 6 computers in my house. I had Zoom set up and running on my work computer, which is a desktop. And then I also added it to my laptop. My daughter was on her laptop and we just both carried the laptops outside.
Yeah.
So once you've got your Zoom meeting set up, I set it up on my work computer online and added myself on my laptop as a co-host. So if anything happened, then the meeting would still be up and running and not just drop off.
Oh, and the other scouts, were they on their cell phones? Is that how they were participating?
I've got one who's on her cell phone, another one's on a tablet. So
Mhm.
I can never get Zoom to work on my cell phone,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the screen's kind of small for me to mess with on Zoom anyway.
Yeah, I like those ideas, the skills competition. So like the camera was shown to the person who was doing, like, say, the juggling act, and everybody was able to see the juggling. Is that how it worked?
That's how it worked.
Yeah, that's nice.
Well, isn't doing virtual activities kind of like that anyway? It's all juggling, right?
Exactly.
Cool.
I mean, again, like the idea that, like, that's why, like, I like doing it when we had the event where it was through like the virtual camp out, you know, on All About Scouts, because then I can get ideas like that from Kriste. Because we're all doing different things. Like all of our units, you know, are going to be 100% different, right? So like even in my dens, like they all wanted to do something different. What was really cool was that my Webelos den, they had actually put together a first aid kit that they were gifting in the pack, and they actually did a video on that, and they shared that in the event, which was really super cool. And I thought that was really helpful. Because again, like, you know, that den was already doing something, so they were able to just basically kind of finish up that like requirement that they were already working on, which was to present, you know, to put together a first aid kit and to present it to the pack, which is nice because we needed it. I'm not gonna lie.
Can I see the picture of the camp out, or are you seeing my space exploration?
We're seeing it looks like your camp out with
Okay.
5 pictures with a girl sitting in a chair and
Yeah.
campfire. Yeah.
Okay. On my screen, it's showing my my space exploration presentation that I'm putting together. So and this is after the fact. I went ahead and posted this, but it was a pretty laid back event. As I mentioned, you know, we live out in the country, so we have our own area we can do a campfire in, and you can see the laptop there with everybody signed in, and that's just sitting in one of the camp chairs, and then we just make sure we sit across from it to be able to see everybody.
Kriste, I have a question for you. How did you get so much Zoom time?
I actually paid the $15 a month,
Mhm.
and it's an unlimited time up to 100 people. I did for the month of April actually buy a do an add-on that I could host an event for up to like 500 people. That was only because I was hosting a merit badge college and had probably about 300 people on a Zoom meeting at one time.
So
So
We should do a Zoom on or a Zoom live on that too, because like you and Scott, I mean, Scott was actually saying he actually prefers to do merit badges over Zoom now. That like he hopes that it doesn't change, and that when we come back into the physical reality, he hopes that will stay for that reason. I thought that was really interesting. Because I don't know how many of us on here are merit badge counselors. I'm gonna guess a good, at least half of us are probably.
Mm.
I know I am. Elizabeth, are you? She's either a moose. Kriste's either a moose or she does 10 merit badges.
I do 10 merit badges.
Mm.
Oh, that's interesting. I thought you could only do 8. Or do you just do it? Is that just our council? And Ken and Elizabeth, feel free to chime in. Anybody can chime in, by the way. I don't want anybody chiming in with their ideas.
Ken, you need to share your ideas of what you're doing, going out and videotaping stuff and sending it out.
Yeah. So it's real important to keep everybody engaged. So in this time, so I'm going out and I'm shooting videos, and so we're posting them on All About Scouts. We're posting them on my council site. But basically, if they show the like last weekend, well, geez, I did it again, didn't I? Yesterday, wow. I went out to, yeah, I know, right? I went out to a dinosaur park. So
Anytime it's after the event, it's last weekend.
yeah, exactly. Especially when you didn't sleep at all last night. Anyway, that's another story. So, yeah, so we're basically, I'm just trying to keep the scouts engaged, and it's not just my unit, that I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for all the scouts, right? I'm doing it for Sea Scouts, Venturing Scouts, Scouts BSA, got Nat, Girl Scouts, everything, and so it's important. Oh, and scouts around the world, in other countries. So definitely just trying to keep them engaged, So next weekend, we're going to be going up in a hot air balloon. So I'm going to be teaching things like STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, about how balloons go up and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just keeping them engaged, as much as you can.
Right. So are you flying the balloon, or how are you social distancing from the pilot?
Yeah, well, we're going to find out when I'm about 30,000 feet up in the balloon, I think. I don't know.
He's practicing his bowling, not tying, so he can hang from underneath the basket.
There you go.
Exactly. Actually made a face mask from the Weeblo's neckerchief, which actually was cool, where you just like wrap it up and then put it around. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Cool.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, when you do your virtual camp out, that was one thing I showed the scouts to do, right? Because when you're talking about interactive activities, before the Den Chiefs came on and did their scout scavenger hunt, I actually got the scarf, and I literally, and I showed them how to do it with a normal scarf, and then we said, well, what's on you right now that works kind of like this? And of course they all answered, oh, well, duh, the neckerchief. And so we're like, okay, well, show me how to do it, because I don't have a neckerchief right now. I don't know where mine went. The cat took it, So, having them get interactive and show us how to do it. So I had all the scouts get on at the same time and practice how to do it with their neckerchief, which I think was really cool. So if you do that, I highly suggest doing that, because it's something that probably by now they have all seen. But I don't know how many of them have actually like practiced doing it with their neckerchief. And it's a lot of fun. Because we know that they all wanted to take it off and like wear, on their head and on their arm and everywhere else anyway. I mean, especially the Cub Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a quick question for Kriste, actually, with Troop 934. So when you did your camp out, your virtual camp out, you did also a scout zone, like you mentioned, the next morning. It was the attendance the same as the night prior to when everyone was camp? Like you didn't have like less of attendance on that, or?
We actually have a small troop, so of only 5 girls, and 1 girl only came for the campfire itself. The other 3 others were there from the start at 3 o'clock on Saturday, and those 3 came back at 9 o'clock on Sunday for the scout zone. The last scout, she was not able to attend at all this weekend. So yes and no, if that answers your question. Not everybody attended, but.
Did you keep it around 15 minutes or so? Like
we had, we started off, I introduced the scout zone service. I thanked everybody for coming. I did a quick, really short, simple little prayer. And I had one girl had chosen that she was going to do a story, and she read a story from her Bible, the kids' Bible that she had, which was really cool. Another girl had mentioned she wanted to do a quote. And so her quote, of course, had nothing to do with scouts or religion, or it was something about a cup of tea. I can't remember it all right off the top of my head. I've got it written down, but it was something about a cup of tea and how, everybody has their own likes and dislikes, and how you make your tea is up to you. Cool. And then my daughter sang Hallelujah, all like 5 verses of it. And then did another quick closing prayer, and that was it. So it was probably right about 15, 20 minutes maybe.
Nice. I like the fact that you had the scouts like engaged in different aspects of the Scouts Own service. So that's cool. That answers my question.
Yeah, we had planned that at our meeting the Monday before.
Okay.
Each girl, all 5 girls who were in the meeting on Monday had to choose something they were going to do, even if they weren't going to be there. So everybody chose something for each of the 4 activities that we had. So everybody had to choose a meal that they were going to cook. Actually, they picked 2 meals because they had to do breakfast and dinner. And then all 4 girls had to give out activities that they wanted to do. We had the campfire and what they were going to do at the campfire, and then the Scout Zone. So each person had to give out something, even if they weren't going to be there.
Good. Okay. Awesome.
It's
actually-
really cool to get if you get the scouts involved in the Scout Zone, because last summer I took a crew to Philmont, and we do for spring break. I mean, that's our only time allotted where everybody can get together to do a whole week-long training hike. And so last year it wasn't very popular, but because of the school vacations, we had to do our hike over Easter. We finally got the parents on board about that, as long as we did like a Scouts Own thing. And we had 2 scouts get together and write the whole thing up, and it was really impressive. I thought that it was, I didn't know what I was going to expect, and you thought all the kids were going to say, oh, I don't want to do it, but all of them did it. It was great. We found a great overlook, kind of like Victoria's background, and it was really awesome for an Easter thing, for multi-denominational thing. It was great.
So when we go through and planned our meetings, let me see if I can get this. Y'all see my slide presentation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've shared that one too. So I can
Well,
share it again, especially if you're not in the the NCAC volunteer group on Facebook, join it, and I'll share that too.
This is actually our planning meeting, or our troop meeting from last Monday, where we went through everything. And we set this up in Google Slides, and there's also activities that the girls do through Nearpod. So I'm just going to scroll through these real quick. This was our troop challenge. So everybody had to come up with a camp gadget that they'd like to think about doing for the troop. These were the requirements we were working on. This is through Nearpod, where you can do fill in the blank puzzles. Couple more leave no trace principles that we were going over. A video that we watched about how to select a campsite, where to pitch your tent, some second class requirements, all about firewood, how to build a fire. This was our open-ended question about why it's important to eat with a patrol. It was done through Nearpod, so everybody could type in answers on this and give out their own answers. Healthy eating, how to wash the dishes. And then this is our collaboration screen. So again, through Nearpod, we'd pull up this particular slide, and each girl types in their information. So this is where we did all our food and menu planning. Here's our activities for the day on Saturday. This is about our campfire. Here's where they put on all their information about what they wanted to do at the campfire. And then our Scouts Own service. So everybody had their own little tabs and everything else that post on this. When you're in Nearpod, it comes out as like little sticky notes for each one of these screens that the girls have their information on. You can like their little ideas, but it doesn't show necessarily on the troop activities thing. And then we had what was wrong with this campsite?
Oh, nothing's wrong with it. It looks perfect. I'm just kidding.
And then our next
By the way,
challenge,
anyone who's just joined us on Facebook, feel free to ask questions. We've gone over a lot of stuff, so you can go back and watch it too. But feel free to ask questions as we're going on, because I am watching the Facebook Live right now.
And so this was our troop challenge for Monday for our Saturday night campfire information. And then the Scoutmaster Minute and our closing. And that was pretty much our meeting on Monday. It did take about an hour and 15 minutes to go through everything. But we always have these Google slides set up both for our troop meetings. And I also use this same type of presentation for any merit badges that I do.
No problem, Marty. You know, if you can share that one to me, because that's different than the other one I shared, I will definitely get it out and share it to everybody, because that is really super cool. So if you send it to me, Kriste, I can share it across the board, and I'll share it in Basecamp, which is for at the district level. I'll share it in there. I'll share it in on my Facebook page and in different avenues, like all over the place. I'll share in the groups too, because that's really cool. Yours looks fancy.
Yeah,
Oh, so the cup campfire. Let me see if I can bring, mine is not going to be as fancy as hers. I'll see if I can find it though. She's very fancy. I'm still learning this. So by the way, I didn't know how to do any of the Google Slides or anything like that until this all happened. So I mean, again, you know, lean on each other for resources. That's one reason why I did the event the way I did, because we're all learning something different. Kriste, you have a question. Michelle asked, Kriste, for your campfire, how did you share songs and skits, or did you not do those? We tried having people record something and presenting it, but it was really choppy and hard to hear. Well, actually, if they're in Zoom, Michelle, when they click, and I learned this recently, when they go to click to screen share, they should always, there's a thing at the bottom that says to share your audio as well. So you have to do that, otherwise it will be very choppy and you won't hear. And I learned this one the hard way. You know, I can speak for our Girl Scout troop. We shared songs and skits yesterday and jokes and all sorts of stuff, and it actually worked really well. We just had them come, like you can pin their video too, so other people can see it. So we would just pin one of the girls, and then they would start doing their, you know, their piece. And then we would mute everybody else. And that's the other thing, utilize the mute button if you need to, because sometimes when one person's talking, if everybody else is having noise in the background, you won't be able to hear you won't be able to hear the one person. And there's something that happens sometimes. So Kriste, go ahead and answer the question, and I'll share how we did our campfire.
We have discovered with using Zoom that if you're wanting to have a group sing along, it doesn't really work very well. However, what we would do is we would mute everybody except one person who was going to be leading the song, and took it on Scout's honor that they were singing along with them. And we would just have one person do a song and another person do a song. As far as skits go, we didn't really do our, that's one of the things we didn't get to at our campfire. We did have that activity planned, but due to, you know, scheduling or whatever the case may be, nobody actually did a troop or a family skit. When you're, but if you are going to use them, it is, as long as you're back far enough from the computer, you should be able to see everybody do your skit, or you can just do an area where you don't have to move very far from the screen. Kind of like a, I don't know, sitting next to one another and telling jokes type of skit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's the other nice thing about the event. Like when we did that, you know, some of ours they've posted in the group, but they literally have done family skits and family jokes and all sorts of stuff. So the other way around it is to say, you know, come up with that family skit, come up with the family jokes, the awesome dad jokes, share them in the event. And then that way everybody can watch it at their own pace and at their own time too. So if you have issues with the recording and stuff like that, they could just record at home and then upload the picture to the event as well. Like we did that yesterday, what Kriste said, where, one person wanted to sing. So I actually think I'm going to post a picture pretty soon because it's really funny. So everybody else was on mute. She was doing her song and we were all like in the background doing, like this and singing along just, you know, because it was fun. And yes, I actually really did use this microphone yesterday. It was fun. And we even got to the point that we did this. We went, you know, so you know, like let the kids have fun because it's a lot of fun. And yes, I am a dork and I did do that. But okay, so let me see. Oh, so when I did mine, this is part of the slideshow. I think this was before I edited it. Can you guys see this?
Yep.
Okay, so
Yes.
when I did mine, we did it where, and this is like the Google Slides for nobody that knows. And if you have questions like Michelle's asking, please just drop them below because I do have both on and I am answering questions. And we do have like, once this is done, it will post as a video on All About Scouts and you guys can all watch it. So you can watch it from the beginning on and see the whole thing. Anyway, so we did like our Pledge of Allegiance first. Here, let me see if I can do present so it shows a little bit nicer. So we did like our Pledge of Allegiance. We had the Den Chiefs lead that. And then we did the Cub Scout Oath. So we had a different Den Chief do that. We did the Scout Law, a different Den Chief did that. And then we did the Outdoor Code. We didn't do the Leave No Trace, but I did keep it up. But we did the Outdoor Code. And again, most of the kids kept their voice on mute. So they just said it along. You could see that you can see them lipping it. Then, you know, I talked about, oh, that was the other thing I don't know. So this again is kind of where I took it from for the slideshow I did earlier today at the very beginning. But this is, I also highly suggest. So is doing a Cub Master Parent Social Hour. We often always remember the scouts, but we forget the parents. And so I was in my thinking, I was like, you know what, we got to do something for the parents. Let's get together. Let's, you know, all, you know, bring a snack, bring a drink. Let's sit and chat, you know, talk about, you know, anything and everything. So it wasn't all about, it wasn't just like we were talking about just scouting stuff. We were talking about what we were doing. And I actually still have, because I've been scouting so much, I haven't been able to like put these down, but like, and I'll share this when I don't know if you guys can see this.
Yeah.
So I shared the ribbons because I just happen to have them in my house because every Cub Master keeps stuff in their house right before they're about to do a camp out, so they don't forget it. They don't leave it in the scout closet because the scout closet is also way far away. Thank you, George. So we did. So I just presented these. I was like, look, this is cool. We got this award and we got this award. You know, so I did that and I did a slideshow. And then the other one I did is, and I just went through it because it has the full name of Scouts. So I'm not going to like fully share that one, but it was the, we did anybody who made rank, we put their names in a slide and we honored them for making their rank. And I didn't divide it by den because I didn't want Scouts to feel like anyone like, oh, we were only focusing on one den for making rank. So we didn't even put what rank they made. We just said they made rank and we, you know, we had everybody clap for them. So that way no one felt left out. Also really my biggest tip would be encourage your Scouts to join. If they don't, because of this whole situation going on and we're doing it virtual, I told my Scouts, like, don't focus, you know, like do the rank stuff at home, but don't focus on that. Like if you can only come to the virtual camp out, that's amazing. Like just do that. You know, so many boys are so close to rank that I don't want them not to come to a pack event because they're worried about rank. Like I'm like, no, you come. Like, and the other thing is I'm giving out patches for Scouts that participate. So I'm making, I'm gonna make like a Cub Master 33 patch that they'll earn when they are participating every month while we're in COVID-19 in some activity. So that way it keeps them actively engaged and it, you know, it gets them thinking about the true values of why we love scouting rather than it just being about, oh, I have to do A, B, and C to get rank. Because they'll still be earning rank, you know, and that will come with time. But I wanted to make sure that they were able to have the ability just to have fun. And this was what I was saying earlier about the using the bandanas and the scarves and the neckerchiefs is I said, oh, well, you know, we're gonna practice for the scavenger hunt. I want you to go find a bandana, a neckerchief, you know, whatever you got, and let's practice this. And it was a lot of fun. And then the bottom part is we said, you know, you get 3 minutes for each den chief to find your items. So, you know, like max was, because our number is 33. Believe it or not, Tim, a lot of scouts actually found 33 paper clips. I can't even find 33 paper clips in my house, and I homeschool.
Wow.
Like, I must, you know, bad homeschool teacher, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I actually might do a Zoom live on how to navigate scouting within a homeschool perspective too, because I've been homeschooling for 10 years, and I have scouts that both homeschool and do the traditional brick and mortar as well, and so it's been interesting. But anyway, so when I was going through this, I was like, are they really gonna be able to find some of these, right? Like a hard-boiled egg. Surprisingly, most scouts actually found a hard-boiled egg. I was shocked. Wow. Or the ant or a spider captured in a jar. Some scouts actually, like, they really did get up and they went and captured something. Hey, Peter, yeah, you can come off mute if you have a question.
I just saying I have to leave the meeting now, so I was waiting.
Oh, no worries.
Thanks for all the great ideas.
Coming. Let me know if you have any questions. You can always reach out to me.
Yes. Thanks a lot for everything. Bye, everybody.
No problem.
Stay healthy.
I'm definitely trying to.
Okay.
This one was Kyle's. It was funny because we had to add all of these, but it was amazing how many people found stuff like this. So, I mean, they had ideas that you would not normally think of when they did the scavenger hunt. So, you know, like, definitely, like, get, like, really creative when you're doing your scavenger hunt. Because it's a lot of fun. It's worth it. But that's how I did mine. And, you know, I kept it really, really simple. And afterwards, I would also suggest, just for people to come together, is after you're done with that, let them just hang out. And I did. And I was surprised. I was like, anyone who knows me knows I can, you know, like, I'm all about community. So I'm like, oh, we could just talk, you know? And I actually had to be the one to be like, I actually have to go. I have another Zoom call I have to do, like, right now. Like, which I did not anticipate. Like, they had a ton of fun. So I don't know, any other questions? Again, you know, if you're watching the live, you could drop the questions below, and we can answer them. And again, if you like the page, you'll be able to see the post. I'll share Kriste's, if she's going to share it, which I'm sure she will, because I know her.
Already sent it to you.
What?
I already sent it to you.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I think that's why my messenger popped up. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, if you guys have something you have questions on or anything, and so I'll share her slideshow so you can see it. I'll be sharing, when Ken sends me the video, I'll share that as well. But definitely ask questions, and if you have an idea for a live or even an idea for an event, I would definitely love to help you guys with that, because again, the whole point of my page is really to bring scouters together and scouting in general. And believe it or not, you might have someone who goes, wait, but my cousin now wants to join the pack, or my cousin wants to join the troop. So while we were thinking about retention, I'm still seriously beside myself that I have people wanting to join the pack and troop, because while we're still figuring this out, they're like, this is so cool. So yeah, just food for thought. And for our council, I think, again, we're going to try, if you guys are willing to help me, I'm willing to help to try to do a virtual campfire for our council. I just need help with other people. And I'm, you know, a scouter asks for help when they need it. I can't do everything. So I volunteered Tim, since he volunteered me to be ASM for the troop, for the boys troop.
Well, thanks for taking a breath, Victoria. I actually have to go to work. So thank you, and nice meeting you all. We'll connect, Victoria. I know where you live. So we will get together on all the other stuff, and I look forward to connecting with all you other folks.
Yeah, you just drive past the street and find the person who has way too much scouting stuff. Oh, you have a troop garden, and you are a DC diaper bank person, and you have a free little library, and you have a tree house. Oh, this must be the scouting house.
Yeah, right. All right, peace, guys. Take it easy. Be well.
It is nice to see you, Tim. I'll see you next week at the district meeting too.
All
and
right,
George, yeah, actually one of my scouts suggested doing Family Feud. I don't know how to do that on a call, but that would be really cool to do. Yes, Kriste.
I have it.
Of course you do. Please tell us how you do it.
Family Feud, Jeopardy, and Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, wow.
Oh my, Wheel of Fortune. Oh my gosh. Okay. I have to share those. I want to do them.
Do you seriously, like, on the Wheel of Fortune, is it digital? Or, like, you actually have, like, a wheel that spins digitally like you can see on the screen, or what?
I haven't worked through the entire program, so I don't know if there's actually a wheel that spins or if it's just kind of more of a hangman thing where they guess a letter and you throw it up there.
Cool.
I was debating on whether or not to do, if I can't get an actual spinner, then I will spin for them to tell them what amount that they would earn for the correct letters and whatnot and keep track of it that way. But I do have a through Google Slide or Google something, Google presentation, Google PowerPoint, whatever it is, it was sent to me. And it walks you through step by step on how to set those up.
Wow. Yeah, could you share that? Like, Victoria, can you maybe see, Kriste, if you might be able to put that on the, yeah, okay, cool, never mind.
You know I will. You don't gotta finish that sentence.
I know, all right.
And George, I'll share yours too. And George says that, you know, it's really cool to see what all the other packs and troops are doing. That's again one reason why I did this page the way I did it, because regardless, you know, like, you know, I did a little bit different for my Girl Scouts. I did my Boy Scouts, even for this, or my Cub Scouts, even for the same game, right? So for the scavenger hunt, one of my brownies, like she took it upon herself. She actually made a physical campfire. Bye, Mary Lou. It is nice to see you. And thank you for coming. I appreciate that. So we had, you know, when I posted it, yeah, they're going to host the campfire. Everybody say bye, Mary Lou.
Bye.
I hope this was helpful.
It was. Thanks.
And by the way, this was my first training ever. Hopefully I did okay. When I posted, oh yeah, they're going to host a campfire. So they made a real campfire and all that stuff. My brownie, like, well, actually now she's a junior. She crossed over. I had to remember, because we totally do that parent thing on our scouts. We're like, but I remember you as a brownie. Anyway, so my junior took it upon herself. She did the entire slideshow herself, came up with the programming, came up with how she wanted to do stuff. And, you know, so get your scouts involved, because you'd be amazed what they do. Like, she came up with everything. The way she did her scavenger hunt was she went around and she had everybody choose a different item. So everybody was interactive with it. And that's perfect for scouting groups that are smaller. So for my pack, that would not have worked, because, you know, going around and having like 70 boys choose something different, that would have gone on a really long time, right? But having 10 girls do it is perfect. So they each went around, went, go find something red. Got it, you know? And so that actually worked out really, really well. So get your scouts involved, because you'd be amazed at the things they come up with. I don't know, Ken, are you guys doing a virtual, or Kevin, how are you guys doing your pack stuff for your packs?
We're just starting that. We're going to be doing a virtual meeting this upcoming Monday. So it's something brand new for the unit. It's a troop. So we're looking at getting as many ideas as possible, because this is a totally new venture. The troop has been around almost 100 years. I mean, it's been around a long time, and you know, this is when you're so accustomed having physical meetings, and now you're going virtual. Not everybody is on that board yet, so we want to get as much information as we can. You know, we think it would reach a lot more scouts. A lot of those scout eligible. We have both boy and girl troops, and we want to make sure that we reach out to them, because a lot of times, you know, all you do is just get their interest, and then when they get on board, they become more excited about the program. So anything, you know, like I say, anything you may have, we certainly appreciate it very much. And like I said, I sent you some, Ken, I sent you something else. If you happen to know of STEM, this is dealing with STEM. If you know anything about STEM, anyone interested, you have a contact, have them contact the person. We're doing a STEM at home program.
Actually, there is, I shared on my All About Scouts page, and I shared it in the other group. Maybe
Okay.
are you on Basecamp, Kevin?
Okay. I gotta go. I'll see you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, because I shared the sim. There is another council doing sim activities, so I did share that completely below. Somewhere in, and I didn't share it in the event, but I shared it elsewhere on the page. So I'll see if I can find it, because they had like virtual stuff for Cub Scouts and Scouts BSA just for Scouts, just for like Nova Awards and stuff like that, which is really cool because I know I have Scouts that are interested in that. You know, and I love what you're doing, Kevin. I think that's really, really cool. Again, if you're just hopping on, you can ask questions below in the live. You can, and please remember, like the page so you can see all the posts. And you can always message me if you have questions afterwards. And I will try to do my best. And, you know, Kriste and if you have a question for one of them, I can tag them too if you have a question for any of them. I would just share it. Sorry, George asked about sharing files. So if you can share it as a comment on the live, and then, or direct message me on my Facebook page, and then I can share it from there. Does that make sense? And if you want to share it in the chat, that would be cool too. Because then other people can see it too if they want right now. But I'll check it later tonight. I'll share it. That's not a problem. But yeah, no, I mean, it's really cool because I know people have been using Google. They've been using like a whole array of different things. So I know one leader says that she uses Google Hangouts and Google Meet. When we did that, I've had like issues in the past a little bit with Google. It doesn't have as much accessibility, I feel like, as Zoom does. And again, like it's easier to go with a platform that you know that most Scouts are using for school and stuff because they'll know how to use it. But again, I think I shared I made a meme, but you know, about being able to turn off annotations. So just remember to do that because otherwise your Scouts will be like, ooh, time to color. It took me the longest time to figure out how to do that. And I also had to like make it to where they had to ask to screen share because, you know, my daughter included kept sharing pictures of soy sauce because she loves soy sauce. And so we all knew it was her. But it was really, really funny.
That is funny.
So Elizabeth, can you share more about that? So Elizabeth said, I use free conference calls, which has the same features as Zoom. Does it do video as well?
Yeah, you can do video as well as screen sharing on it. And it has the same thing as a lock feature, which you can, you can lock the chat or the online thing which is going on. The only problem is when people join in on a phone or, they switch from a phone onto a computer. So, that alone, you have to be a little bit careful because you need to know who's on going out and then coming back in. But otherwise, free conference calls is also a good app, which actually I use for my den. And I used to use it for my committee meetings too. So it has been good. It is a good app and it's free. And there's no time limit. You can even have it for more than an hour. So you don't have to worry about the 40-minute cutoff time.
That's helpful to know. I know that I started using the free conference call and then I couldn't figure out how to do the video part at all. Kriste, was that your cat? Because I couldn't tell what. At first, I thought you were trying to show us something, and then I was like, "What is that?" And then I realized it was the cat. That's really cute. Oh,
This is Mew.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you so
A little
fluffy.
beady thing, isn't she?
And we've got Meowth, her brother. And then we actually have 3 more, Knox, Lumos, and a Pisky.
Those are interesting names. I like that.
Well, you know where Knox, Lumos, and a Pisky came from, right?
I love that we both do.
I was actually thinking about one thing, and since in our council, when we did a backyard camping thing, almost all of the unit commissioners as well as district commissioners were on. So it was a fun thing because what they did today was they were taking attendance on which were the packs or troops which were there. So just as you had suggested, when people say, I'm from this particular pack, I'm from this particular den, or if you're having it as a council event, it's a good attendance for your commissioners to know who all are there and who all have missed your virtual camp out. That was something which I wanted to tell all of you guys. And another one thing which actually I typed out in the Zoom group chat was, I remember Tim, since you said Tim's pack is also closer to your pack, and if you guys are thinking of doing a virtual camp out again, what you could do is the leaders as such, or packs which are willing to join the event, ask the leaders if they are willing to do some activity. And you can schedule an activity for all the kids to do. But before that, put in a video of how you need to do the activity. That was the way I saw how to do the rocket launch. They had a video on how to do the rocket launch, and then they said at a particular time you guys can join us or share your videos or your pictures. So if you're having it as a council event, what I would suggest is ask other people who like to join in and put in stuff, and you can schedule the whole thing for the weekend, so that whether it's a troop or as a pack, you get to do all the fun stuff.
I like that. It was kind of like how Ken, you and I went live before, like announcing the dino thing that you were doing.
Yep.
So I like that. I like that a lot. And I love the idea of trying to get different packs and troops together to do the Zoom together, especially small ones. Like I know with our pack, it would have been hard. I know Tim's pack is a little bit smaller. And what's unique about Tim and I, because we're both co-masters of two different packs, but is that we have some scouts that have scouts in both. And then our den chiefs come from, like one of his den chiefs I know comes from my pack, or my troop. So he is in chief, he's in troop 33, and he is den chief for pack 23. So I think that that's really, really cool too, because then we can get all those den chiefs together who know each other, and have them again via PLC together to help come up with the events, which is really cool. Yeah, so I mean, like we can explore doing more of this. I mean, we have time between now and frankly, I think that, I would be shocked if our Cub Scout Council did not. I think that I think we're going to follow suit, essentially. I think we're going to have to end up canceling a lot of stuff until the beginning of August, unfortunately. They haven't called that yet. They may not, but, which, I won't have no complaints about, because I do want to jump off of, of the Rocket Blue Hole, because it's fun. Because what leader doesn't want to jump after a hard day's work at camp, want to jump off of a rock into a river? Me. But yeah, no, so I think that we just have to plan and for events. So I'll be doing, I think that even if we did like virtual campouts, even like once a month, and have it be like the 2 weeks, but every unit can do something different. We all share what we're going to do. We all, because again, like one pack might be able to choose to do it in May and August, but not do the July one. So it allows them to kind of get creative in their own way that their packs or troops need. And if you guys who are watching on the live or watching later have ideas, let me know down below, because I mean, at the end of the day, we're, I do this page, I do it completely for free, and it's with the same intent of why I joined scouting in the first place, which is to promote scouting and to all work together. Like Kriste, it'd be really cool to get your Scouts BSA troop even and mine. And no one figured out what the 1123 was. I was kind of shocked. You know. Yeah, if anybody knows what why my girls named our Scouts BSA troop 1123, put it in the chat below. Because some people will get it. It took me a minute to get it when they first told, because I was like, why not do 9 3/4 like everybody else? But the girls actually chose the number. But I love the idea, Elizabeth, of doing the videos beforehand, especially on more complicated things. Like, I know, like, if you have scouts that live in the city, though, like, was that activity that they did for the rocket launch something that they could do in the city easily?
Yes, because the rocket launch just had vinegar and baking soda. So if you add 4 teaspoons of vinegar and just no, 4 tablespoons of vinegar and 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and almost everyone has a plastic bottle at home, you know, the Kroger kind or the Walmart kind. So and actually they made it with straws, you know, to make it as a stand for it to stand. But then I didn't have a smaller bottle, so I used a 1 liter bottle, and it's just make do with what you have. And
Yeah.
the fun part was what all of us were involved. I pulled in my husband too, and I said, "Come on, let's all do it." And the more attempts you do it, it's more fun, because the first time it fizzles out, you know. So having your entire family come and do fun stuff, and maybe even do crafts with what they have. So almost everyone will be having toilet paper rolls now. Do a craft with something like that. Do something which is available, and all that you need is a person who is a leader who can, you know, teach how to do a particular craft, and then tell the others, okay, now why not you guys do a craft and post it in the pictures, you know, with what is available at home. That is the best thing about it.
I know I was going to make a meme about toilet paper rolls. Like, now every parent knows what leaders go through, and they just have like a sack of toilet paper rolls. Because you need them for more than just scouting stuff, right? Like, I always make jokes that I got scouting stuff all over the place. Like, I made a joke with Tim that, you know, like, and it's right over there is our golden spatula for our pack, because we have this tradition of doing like a cooking competition for the morning of for our pack. And so I literally have that. And I joked around that I had been doing Zoom after Zoom after Zoom yesterday for different activities. So I literally was like, I kind of slept with the golden spatula. It's at the foot of my bed. Good thing I'm really short, you know, like it's on the other side of my bed. But just to come up with, I love the idea of like coming up with different activities. And maybe my thought is, and Elizabeth, since you've already done it, it would be super cool if we wanted to do a Facebook event to teach everybody how to do the rocket launch, and that be just a very specific thing. And then we pick like 1 or 2 days to do it, and then we have everybody join in and share their pictures of doing that rocket launch. I think that's really, really cool. I love that idea. I mean, would you be down for it?
I actually sent you something on Messenger, and just check that out. And hopefully when you click on that, and if you're able to go onto the page which I've taken it from, we can pick out videos from there too.
That would be really cool. Yeah, I saw you sent me something on Messenger, so I can I have the chat up on the live, so like I can see when you guys send me messages, but I can't like always see what the messages are.
You can do that later, because they have a whole bunch of stuff which they did, and downloading recipes and downloading how to do stuff. Everything was there in that particular page. I'll send you that link too later. And maybe, you know, according to that, we will utilize it, modify it, and present it to the others too.
I agree. That'd be awesome, Elizabeth. Yeah, no, Kriste, that'd be awesome. The funny thing is, I cannot find it. Kriste, Elizabeth, I think you were on the chat when I actually put on. So, and I'll do this sometime, but it is very true. And I have scout leaders here that can verify. I can fit into my son's Cub Scout uniform from like when he was a Cub Scout, which is hilarious because he's also like, he is like 5'6", 5'7" now. And so I thought about doing a meme about putting that on, and then like doing like a little like skit where, you know, he takes my Scout leader shirt because it's a little big for me, and he wears my Scout leader shirt and I wear his Cub Scout uniform.
That's funny. Veronica, you just called yourself out.
You want to reverse roles with your child?
Or Victoria, I said Veronica, whatever. Yeah.
But what? I call myself out on how short I am?
Oh.
Well, I think anybody that knows me knows I'm short already. Actually, I have this meme, actually, Kriste, you'll love it, where right before, it was last year before Camp Horseshoe. So before the older boys went off to camp, and I was being a dork, and I my friend's car trunk was open, and we were taking stuff out of the car. And my thought was, so I climbed into the back of the car with my uniform on. And I said, "Oh, we need to unpack some more things." And so it was just because I'm so small, and like someone's like, "You can't fit in there." I was like, yeah, sure, watch me. Like, so you got, when you're a leader, remember, even when you're on Zoom, be a kid at heart. I think that's the hardest thing. I feel like even here, like once I started it, like I've never done a training before, and anything like that. So I was really, really nervous. But once I did it, it became a little bit more natural to me. And so I think I'm still like getting used to the idea. I think that's why I started a little bit in the beginning, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this for my council, which is a little nerve-wracking for me, because I'm doing this in front of leaders that helped me become a leader. And that's really cool to see, is that we're all helping each other out. So go to your leaders for help. I mean, go to, utilize your scouts. I mean, we're all teaching each other. That's what I think at the end of the day, as long as we go with Scout Spirit, we're good. I know, and actually, Kriste, I think you're the only one who wore a uniform on here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
One of these things is not like the other.
Texan.
No, I honestly think that I live in my uniform now. I'm on Zoom meeting, and I'm planning things so much that my uniform is like permanently adhered to my body.
Oh, see, here's the golden spatula I was talking about.
Ooh.
So every camp out, all of them do a competition. I have to share some of the pictures. Like they had, I mean, the Tigers did like green eggs and ham. Like the Bears did like a full blown like Star Wars theme with music and everything. But which one would you like? Would you like my Boy Scouts / Scouts BSA uniform, or would you like this one? And I probably have my Girl Scout one somewhere in here, because like I told other people, I did a sash, because when I would do events, I would have to like have people know who I was, that I wasn't just a Boy Scout leader, so I'd have to wear both uniforms at the same time, which is kind of bizarre, and I know very like not kosher, but that's okay. But here, I'm gonna make you feel better.
Oh.
And in fact, I will do one arm in each. There you go. Now, let me see if I can actually button it up. That would be even better, because these are two totally different shirts.
Y'all are making me feel out of. Oh man.
Oh, I can't, because they're both. Okay, there we go. We'll just do that. Now put my hair over. There we go. Wait, hold on a second. Now, there you go. Now I'm representing both the. I'm representing the East Coast, which is NCAC, and this is, so this, apparently they used to have the council patch here, which I did not know. So you'll see it says Boy Scout of America, and this is a council patch from Oregon. It's I believe it's the Crater Lake, and it was for Northern California and Southern Oregon. So there's that. So now, like on this one, I wear this patch, because if I take it off, I get the what is it, the residue, and it's really hard to get off. I have not been able to get it off. So anyone knows how to get that off, please drop it below, because I'm pretty sure I get looks from the fact that I have two counts. This patch here, and I wear this patch. So you'll notice in pictures, I'll sometimes intentionally put my hair over this, so that way, like, I don't get the, but that's not right, And now, see, there you go. I'm both. I feel so weird. Now I gotta make a meme out of this, just for you, Kriste.
Well, like I said, I'm always in uniform at least once a day for something, and it's been ingrained in my head. If you're doing a scouting event, you need to be in uniform. So, but speaking of having fun, when my daughter first joined Scouts BSA February of last year, she was with a troop, and their first camp out was the week after February 1st, the weekend after. So, and that weekend, it was so cold. They were not very well prepared, but they survived. And at the camporee, they had a first aid event where, you know, they had to go rescue a scout lost in the woods who was injured, and they had to make the stretcher and carry her out. Well, my daughter has a fanny pack that she carries just about everything in. If you need a sauce packet, she's got it. And in her fanny pack, she also had her kazoo. And when they were carrying out my daughter on the stretcher from this exercise, she had the kazoo in her mouth, and they were playing "We Are the Champions."
Ah, cool.
And so she became the kazoogler.
Ah,
That's cool.
That's cute.
that's awesome.
We didn't have a bugler, we had a kazoogler.
I like that. Yeah, because I don't know that all, I know like it's like in a position, but I don't even think our troop has one. Not that I'm aware of. I could be wrong. Either in either one, 123 or 33. I don't think either of them have it. By the way, now we're just kind of chatting because we got but if you want to drop something below. I like the kazoogler. You should take a picture of that. I would totally post that. Like that would be a fun, that would be a really fun meme. Like, you know, something about like when you can't find a bugler, you get a kazoogler. I like that. And Ken, what are for other people that are just joining, do you want to talk about the events that you're doing? And Elizabeth, you've actually had some really good resources too. So I shared at the very beginning the thing that you shared, so just so you know. So the religious patch that people can earn and it's for Scouters. So it's on the post on my All About Scouts page.
That's the Scouters Religious Academy.
Yeah. It helps you teach all Scouts to be reverent.
Yeah, it's on May 16th, and May 16th, which happens to be Saturday, and it's online.
That's really, really cool. And all Scouters get a patch because we want more patches in our lives.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I actually like it. I'm not gonna lie. I love being able to earn the patch. So I'm like, oh yeah, that is kind of like a reward kind of thing. It's fun because you can put it on your uniform. And then like if you're, and Kriste, you've been a Girl Scout leader too. So like, you know, like whenever you go to events, you're like, ooh, how did you earn that patch and that patch and that patch? And as a leader, you just go, ooh, you really do look at it because you're like, ooh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Like your brain's always working over time. But yeah, no. So if you guys have any other questions or anything like that, I mean, we can wrap up and we'll be doing more of the leader hangout chats. And so you'll get to know the four of us pretty well. So, you know, Ken and Kriste are both from Texas. I'm from Washington, D.C. Elizabeth is from Georgia. Yeah, Snappy Logos has patches for both. I really love that they do both. So, and I love the events. Actually, I love that the event that you posted about the Religious Academy is for both sets of leaders, which I think is really cool. And so, you know, I actually look forward to seeing what's going to happen over the coming months in terms of everybody working together like that, because you kind of need to. It's crucial. It's important. But yeah, again, we're just having a virtual hangout chat. So if you have any other questions about anything, you can post it below. Again, don't forget to like the page so you can see things. If you have ideas, message me. If you have questions, message me. I'm sorry, I'm talking a little fast. Because Elizabeth's gotta go, you know. Have fun, Elizabeth. We'll figure out a time that works for us to do a virtual hangout.
Oh yeah. Okay, so bye guys.
Ciao, hun.
Bye.
Bye.
But yeah, no, anything else you want to, you wanted to talk about the events that you're doing. You said the next one is going to be the hot air balloon. So I'll share that. Do you want me to do a meme again and then we can have people ask their questions?
Yeah, sure. Here's the thing. So you can email me at kencubmaster@gmail.com. So KEN cubmaster@gmail.com. I'm doing shows. The first one's going to be up and going after it's been edited on All About Scouts page, as well as the Capital Area Council page. We went to a dinosaur park, so we got to learn about dinosaurs. And it was a little scary, but I survived. It was good. So I'm here. But now next week, we're going to be going to a hot air balloon. So we're going to be learning different things, STEM related, about science, technology, engineering, math, about how do they go up in the air, and different questions like that. So what I'd like to do is have scouts all over the United States email me at kencubmaster@gmail.com with your questions, and then I'll go ahead and just ask them to the hot air balloon professional that we'll be with, and he'll help answer them. So very good.
Have you ever gotten a hot air balloon before?
That's going to be a negatory.
Ooh, yay, it's your first
Kriste, I
time.
looked at you. Okay.
Ooh, I'm interested on how you're gonna. That's actually on my bucket list. That's why I asked that. So it'll be interesting to see. So we can all watch and see if you how you react, just because that's fun.
I love doing these shows, but man, it's putting me in some awkward situations I've never been in before. So it's gonna be fun. That's what makes it more exciting. That's what Scouts is about, right? I mean, it's going and doing stuff, and even if you're at home, it's like do things, right? In your own backyard. I mean, Scouts is like, be active. Even if you're at home, be active. And so these shows are going to be to help inspire Scouts as they're at home as well. Through their computer, they can watch, and they can be there with me going up in a hot air balloon, of all things. So, wow.
That is really cool. That actually gives me an idea. Maybe I can contact Horseshoe and see if they would do a high ropes course. No, I have never done high ropes before, and I was like legitimately scared to do it. And then especially because I gave away that I'm short, but I'm pretty short, right? So like I'm holding on to the wires trying to get across, and like they're going above my head, so it's really weird because I'm having to hold like this, where most adults are like holding like this. Then we get across, and it wasn't the first year, it was the second year, and I actually ended up, speaking of doing things you've never done before, I ended up pulling a Tim Miller. So 1 year he went upside down on the zip line, and I'm like, I'm going to do that. So I ended up, when I jumped off of the high ropes course, ended up going upside down, and it was so much fun. So like only for Scouters, don't, make sure that you listen to your people. Just as a disclaimer, I'm not saying that Scouts should do that, but it was a lot of fun. And so like you said, you just try things that you've never done before. It's nice to hear that someone else is like me and hasn't done some of these things we're actually doing. So if you have an idea of what Ken should do next, you should drop it in the drop it down. I'm gonna want to tell him. Thank
you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It is what I do. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm already doing so much. I live in the city, so it's a little bit harder to do some of the adventurous things that you're getting to do. And Kriste, if you have any ideas too, let me know, because
I'm actually working with our SPL to plan a trip to Mars.
Nice.
Oh, I love that. How are you planning a trip to Mars?
They're from the Mars rover Curiosity. Mm-hmm. They created a whole virtual reality tour of Mars with some information, and so I was pulling up different things. So we've got a little escape room astronaut activity that we're going to be planning for this meeting. We're going to do a little tour of Mars, maybe work on some either space exploration or astronomy merit badge requirements, and work on NASA has a parks ranger, couple different parks rangers. What are those things called? The junior ranger awards.
Yeah, the junior ranger programs.
Yes, and they've got 2 for space.
Ooh, that's really cool. Yeah, I'm getting together a list of different ones too. Ooh, send those to me. That would be a lot of fun, especially for the kids that want to do STEM stuff. Do you know if they're like sending them like the badges or stuff by mail, or are they just doing it virtually? Like, do you know for the space one, are they like, or any of the, I haven't done the junior ranger programs during COVID yet.
Got it pulled up. I know they've got certificates that you can print. No, that's the wrong one.
So, Kriste, is this something that you may want to do like pre-recorded with your troop, or is it something that's maybe a possibility of doing it as a live type thing on All About Scouts? Or because that's actually pretty cool. I like that.
I will be, like I said, we're right now. I'm in the planning stages on it. It won't be ready for tomorrow's meeting, but
Okay.
maybe for the following meeting. Either plan on doing a dry run or something next Sunday with you guys, or I can. I'm not a fan of recording it and posting it, but I can definitely go through on a live meeting and have the troop meeting slideshow up and tell everybody how to get into and do the various activities.
That'd be cool.
That would be really cool.
Be awesome.
Yeah, see, this is why I love it. Like, you know, even inside the groups that we're in, we're getting all these like really cool ideas and working together, but being able to do it live and showing would be super duper cool. And especially the STEM stuff. Hey, Andrea, how are you? She's a Girl Scout leader in our local service unit. How you doing? And again, anything that we're talking about for even Scouts BSA or Cub Scouts, I believe also applies to Girl Scouts too, and you can kind of finagle it a little bit. And again, you know, have your Scouts help come up with the ideas, because you would be amazed what they come up with. And, you know, for Andrea, I said it before, but we're going to like do the DC diaper bank for our local service unit. So for those that don't know, I also am the service unit program leader for three different service units. I keep forgetting it's 3, not 2. And so, you know, we'll do the DC diaper bank. We'll do the free little library. We'll do like a couple of different ideas. And if you guys have any ideas, drop them below. Because again, we're all supporting each other. If you guys want to come on All About Scouts and help share your idea and how you did it, because like Ken's doing his thing and he's posting it here. Kriste's doing her thing and she's posting it here. It's really helpful because we all need help. And then even when you get to the point that you're feeling like you could be the best scouter in the entire world, and you know, and I'm pretty sure you have a patch for that. No, just kidding. If you know, you can be the best scouter in the world and hit the point where you've run out of ideas or you're tired. And this is like how this is really awesome, because if you're feeling burnt out and tired a little bit, you could be like, oh, well, Ken's having this great program. I'm going to forward this to my pack so they can utilize this program as well. And again, I highly suggest making sure.
Bars of all places, yeah.
Yeah, you know, be like, you know, you participate. You might be in DC, but you're participating in something in Texas and you just don't even know it. But yeah, I mean, even if you know, I've been sharing stuff from around the world too. So, you know, I shared the Jotty, which is the jamboree on the internet. And that was really cool as well. And that was open to all Scouts, not just Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts or even Girl Scouts. It was open to everybody. So again, you know, really encourage your Scouts to focus on the fun of scouting and not on I'm doing this and this and this to earn rank. I know from my pack, and I can only speak for my pack, as Cub Master, you know, our whole team came up with the idea of like, we're not going to say you have to earn rank by this day. It's not realistic. BSA extended the date, but we even extended beyond that because we know that some people are just so burnt out right now that they need to focus again on the fun of scouting and not on always just the rank. So we are doing that where they'll earn badges and patches still. And they may be earning an adventure loop or, you know, some rank advancement for rank without even knowing that they're doing it. And so, you know, again, it's just finding the fun in that. Oh, thank you, Kriste. She just shared the file on down below. So yeah, just share the files below that you have for some cool events. Yeah. And we'll be doing more of these leader chats. So, you know, I would love to bring on some people, you know, even before I did this, Tim and Ken were just chatting away. So it's a great way to meet leaders from around the nation. So if you want to be part of that leader chat with us, definitely please like message me. And we can try and make that happen, because it's nice to see leaders from around the nation come together, and you really make really good friends that way. Because again, like you could be in a group talking, but it's different when you're talking face to face, you know? And, you know, we can all join the Ministry of Magic and Troop 93. I love it. I'm sorry that I'm you know I'm not gonna get over that one. But yeah, no, I think I'm also going to try to do a patch program on All About Scouts as well to help facilitate that, that love of scouting and just supporting each other. Do you guys have any other questions? Anybody? Because now we're just trying just for fun. But again, if you go back and you watch the live all the way through, you'll see the whole slideshow and everything. Again, like the page so you can see the post and everything. Is there anything else? I need to start going to, make some grub for my kids and I. So, go get some worms from underneath a log. Just kidding. I'm not going to do that. I hear the word grub and I think Lion King. But anyway, anything else, you two, or? I think we're good. Again, let us know if you have any questions, and we are all good to go. And I'm gonna drink some more coffee because that's what you do at 7 o'clock at night. Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is coffee because I think everybody can relate. Like our hours are just all over the place.
Yeah.
So I'll be up for a while. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Definitely, again, let us know if you have any questions. We'll answer them afterwards. Drop any resources you find. I'm more than happy to share. Like the page, and if you guys have ideas you want to host on here, I am more than happy to do that. And let's all keep scouting going because I think this is a really great opportunity to make it fun. So for everybody. Anyway, I will see. Yes. So Sam, so as soon as this is done, so when I hit end meeting, what it will do is it will automatically go ahead and it will save it and it will upload it as a recording to Facebook. So you should be able to access the same link as you guys access to view this. And you'll just be able to watch the whole thing over again. And it's, let me see it'll tell me how long it is because it's a pretty long thing.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's about 2 hours. But if you just watch the beginning, you'll be able to see the slideshow of how we did it. And then it'll go into everybody sharing what they want to do and what they are doing and the questions. And then it will go into, just us chatting and with ideas. Is that helpful at all? Hopefully it is. But yeah, and I'll send the link out too. And I'll share it in the different groups as well. So they can all go ahead and access this and, share it to their leaders and stuff. So, because again, we're all supporting each other and that's what scouting is about at the end of the day. So, are there any other questions? Okay. Thank you guys for joining me. You guys are amazing and awesome.
You're welcome.
Thank
Had
you.
fun.
You as well. Don't sleep in the uniform.
I can't get it off.
It's like just melded into your body. Should you use like, one of the Harry Potter spells, just to put it just stays on there now. It just never comes off. It's a part of her skin now.
Yeah.
It's what it feels like, that's for sure.
That's true.
Okay. Ciao, you guys. You guys are awesome and amazing. And thank you all scout leaders for continuing scouting. So, okay. Ciao, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.